All right, we already have some people joining. Let's see who else we have here. We have Danielle. Hi. GW. Who is this? Sorry, maybe you could introduce yourself as well in the comments section. What's your name? Where you come from? What's your LC? And we're going to start in a bit. Okay. So, just let's go back to the previous slide, Bill, just to officially welcome everyone today in our IFSA Officials Roundtable session. So thank you so much for everyone for being here. I know lots of you already have lots of questions going on about the official position. Maybe some of you are interested in applying to several positions. So hopefully through this session today, we can answer some of those and make you more enthusiastic in applying. Maybe we could go to the next slide. Okay, so before we officially start, I would like to kindly ask all of you to join us at slido.com or scan the QR in the screen. I'll also send the code here. Okay, so first of all, the main question of the year. Are you going to apply, or in this case, reapply for an IFSA official position next term? Let's see. Oh, okay. Someone is not planning to reapplying or applying for official, but we still have the majorities applying. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, can you guys maybe share to us the reasons why would you not continue your official position? Is it because IFSA is boring and you're just stressed out of IFSA, or are there any other reason? Passing out of IFSA. Damia said that would love to reply, but passing out of IFSA. No longer a member next term. Oh, I see.
Hey,
Yeah,
just liking up
Alex.
to say we are at the 5 minute mark. So we wanna
Okay. One more question, maybe, Damia, just to check everyone. What position are you interested to apply for? Then we could right hop into the session. Because I think everyone's is really enthusiastic to see if others are going to apply as well. Okay, so we have ED, we have president. Ooh, vice president, head of file subcommission. Interesting. Okay, we have two candidates for the potential candidates for president. We also have internal counselor, and fundraising is interesting too. Okay, so the majority here is really interested in president and also vice president position, and thankfully we have them today with us. So please use the session wisely later on. And last question, what do you want to learn from this session? Let's see. What are your main questions for us today? Experience, vibes from IFSA. Vibes from IFSA. Okay. Could someone please re-elaborate what vibes in here meaning? What
I
you're looking
think I'm
for?
bound to always unmute myself. That was me. Vibes from it says more like it's the end of the term. IFSS is coming up, GA is coming up. So how we feel about it, what our emotions are saying, and of course, how much exams is stressing us out.
That's actually really interesting, Demia. And yeah, I think that's also important as well to see. So with that being said, yeah, we can go to the next slide. So today what we're going to have is that as I mentioned before, we're going to have a session where we'll introduce you about the officials' positions. So we're going to have a brief introduction, which we already had, and then after this, we're going to have a presentation about IFSA officials. So before we jump into the positions, we wanted to share a little bit about IFSA structure. Then we're going straight forward to the officials' presentation, Q&A, and this is going to be in a breakout session format. So please pay attention into this. And last but not least, closing remarks. So with that being said, I'm going to give the floor to Damia to present the first slide.
Thank you. So after that good breakout icebreaker session, we want to start with how the structure of IFSA works, the overall structure, and then we get into the details of the board and HLC positions later. So giving you a brief structure, not to go into detail too much, we have on the top of it the direction of IFSA, that is the 4 positions, president, vice president, treasurer, and the executive secretary. Then we have 3 councils branching out of it. That's the external, membership, and internal councils. Then we have head of commissions and head of subcommissions branching out of that. This structure is available on our website, but for this specific officials roundtable, we're going to be focusing on the board of IFSA. That's the 7 people, including councillors and the direction. And we're going to be focusing on the head of commissions, so partners, policy, communications, and capacity development. We go to the next slide. Just a brief of how much love and effort goes into this. We are often more than 60, 70 officials working each term on different tasks of IFSA. We are non-political, we are non-profit, we are non-religious. We are spread out over the globe. We have LC structures, so local committees that each member comes from, and builds up IFSA from the local level to the international platform. And we go to the next slide. This is the love that we talked about. We developed this just today, and this is all the love from our vice president. He's the Secret Service. He knows every information. He's going to be telling you how we develop connections and collaborations between all of the IFSA departments. We have the internal counselor, being an angel for all of the internal department. We have executive secretary, Crispus, on board today too. He's going to be talking about his tasks. We don't have treasurer today, but they handle the reporting and budget of IFSA. We have Faiha, the co-moderator, and also membership counselor, Princess of 7 Realms. She is the mother of dragons, and she is Daenerys Targaryen. Yeah. Then it's me, shining bright. I'm eating light so that I can give it out to all of the external departments. And finally, bringing us all together like a marriage is our president, Isabel Clare. And she is also going to be talking about her tasks. So I'll pass the floor first to Belle.
Thank you, Damya, and thank you everyone for joining us for today's roundtable session. It's very exciting to see a lot of people interested in applying for a board position and even president. Like I saw a few who were interested in applying. And if I were to summarize my experience of being a president in one sentence, it would be that it has been a fulfilling life milestone. To be able to lead an entire international association, to be able to motivate young people like me to join IFSA, even as a delegate, or to join as a member and to join as an official. But to be specific, the work of the president is focused on 2 main things. First is that the president is mainly in charge of engagement with external partners. So that means that when you are at a international conference or meeting, or even just in your day-to-day life as a president, you are officially representing IFSA. You are also in charge of creating and strengthening the existing partnerships that we have with international and regional organizations around the world. So that means that it is also your responsibility to attend and to participate meetings. It could be that you are invited to attend one conference or a few conferences every year, because that's where you get to expand the network for the association. And also you are in charge of making sure that we have strong collaboration with our partners. I also already mentioned about taking part in international events, and you are representing the interests and the advocacy of IFSA and the youth in general by taking part in these events. And one of the most important things is, of course, working really closely with the external counselor to oversee and coordinate the external department. But aside from the external part of your task as a president, you are also leading the operational tasks and activities together with the direction and the counselors, or together, that's the board. So the president chairs the board meetings. So this term we do it every Sunday, but if ever you're the president, then you would be able to lead the board meetings on whichever day your board members decide the board meeting to be. Also, the president chairs the interim, but most importantly, the General Assembly meetings that we do every year. So that's it for my part. Now I hand it over to Bora.
So, hello everybody. This is Bora, originally from Turkey and from LC Istanbul, and I'm this year's vice president of IFSA. So, if I express myself in one sentence, this is just being bridge between IFSA's unit as a wingman and secret servants of IFSA, because you have to have a lot of knowledge. So that is kind of joke between us, but it works very well and match very well. We can move. So if you want to see what is the position just in one meme, it's like this, and you should know, and you should see what is going on and what happened and what's going to happen, and you will get contact the internal consular and other consulars. That's why you have naturally a lot of information. We can change quickly. So task vice president is deal with all IFSA internal matters, sometimes even design and communication by getting contact and creating the collaboration between them, and carrying support from you to the IFSA officials, and try to create a strong bond. So you naturally having connection with other departments, also really working closely with president, as that's why I said like wingman, as wingman of the president, we can say that. And if we evaluate better, we can say that I have a huge task for interim, finding, organizing committee, giving report and creating documents, and at the same time building of the new term and selection process, and also coordinating the GA preparation with the president and helping them, and leading and organizing interim meetings such as interim, CERM, NERM, and any other regional meetings, and getting contact them, and carrying information to IFSA direction and board. In short, we can say that being bridge between IFSA officials and IFSA direction and having collaboration. Can we move it quickly? Next part. No, we can't. Okay, challenges. Like you can imagine, what is that? A time consuming, you have a lot of tasks. Sometimes people think you know a lot of information and they're running to you by thinking that you're holy book, but sometimes you cannot ensure information because you have to have information from other departments. These are challenges. So yeah, that's it from my side. Actually, there's more details, but yeah, that's all the things. Then I'm giving my space to lovely Executive Secretary Crispus.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Crispus Ongom from Uganda, and I send you warmest greetings. Next slide. So in one sentence, my role is basically nothing and everything. You do almost everything, and there's nothing so specific to you which you do. So nothing and everything. Next slide. So just to give you an overview of the task which I do as an exec sec, I am in charge of the general bookkeeping of the organization. So here I ensure that all the documents which have been approved at the General Assembly are all, safe, secure, well organized, and also easily accessed by IFSA members. Then also as exec sec, I serve as a contact person between IFSA and the IFSA SAN. So SAN is just supporters and the supporters and alumni network of IFSA, like people who are alumni of IFSA. So I also support direction and other board members. And also as exec, I am in charge of the info@ifsa.net email, where I take care of the inquiries and questions from members and all that kind of things. And also I partake in decision making among within other board members. So just the competency, you have to be a very good timekeeper, honestly speaking. Then you have to have the general IFSA knowledge. Then also having a good typing speed, because you take care of the board minutes. And people speak fast at times, so you have to be really good at it. Then also good communication skills. Next slide. So just in summary,
I'll up as the horrible timekeeper. Then we have 30 seconds.
All right. So in general, the exec is a member of direction and is involved in the direction task. He or she is also involved in all matters that concern the administration and running of the organization. Reach out to me in case you want to apply for more. For challenges, you can refer to borrow slides, similar challenges. Thank you.
So we pass the floor to Bora.
Yes, technically our treasurer should have been here, but unfortunately he's been traveling from Kofo place to his country. So the treasurer, as you understand it from meaning of the treasurer, we can think about that the budget and resources aligned for IFSA. This is the motto for this position. So in short, like IFSA's treasurer has responsibility of the managing of IFSA finances, including any business and any financial stuff, which is about like transfer, regular contact with the bank, and or checking statements of account and making regulations and updating IFSA direction if needed. So general task is about manage IFSA finances, as I said. It's including reimbursement, transaction, budget, and any other related things. Also, to prepare a financial report for General Assembly to show the IFSA members, and at the same time to do direction. Also, having communication, strong communication between German authorities and IFSA family. And at the same time, if you see from the treasurer email and they send membership fee invoiced and sending and collecting them and creating data and updating the board and bothering the people by collaboration with membership counselor and me. And update the status of the countries, because every year is changing, taken by officials, the country's level. And yeah, in collaboration between IFSA direction. So in short, we can say that the treasury is about the finance and financial units and having collaboration between two sides and giving report and updating IFSA for IFSA members. So this is the treasurer's path.
Thank
And
you.
Damia.
Thank you. I take the floor now. I'm Damia. I'm the external counselor this term. And my role in one sentence would be representing IFSA perspective. So external department works with external affairs, partner organizations, global platforms. So it's a lot of external facing representation of perspectives, creating opportunities, communicating that to IFSA members, and building relation with the external organizations and connecting us together. And on the next slide, we have good photos of how we communicate, but more about the position would be that the external counselor has a role of primarily coordinating between the external department. So that includes 2 commissions of international policy and partners, which have their own subcommissions, so that we have good outcomes, good interpersonal connections, motivation, smooth flow. We build relationship between partners. That is the role of all of the external departments. So EC supports and facilitates for that too. Again, we facilitate for head of commissions and head of subcommissions. So any task that the head of commission or subcommission cannot do, or I can loop in easily for an urgent task and complete the task, I would be supporting in all of that, whether it's to write a policy advocacy document or create another partnership document or a delegation or side event. We maintain the flow of the department. And in the next slide, more about the duties and responsibilities would be to be aware of the issues, maintain good communication skills, so we know what is needed. And by we, I mean the external counselor, but anyone that comes next and anyone that was before EC as well. We look for solutions together if there are a lot of urgent issues in external department. So we look for solutions together and we take on tasks. Between IFSA and ED, we maintain connection between the board, EC, HOC, HOLCs, and we facilitate the information here and there. And finally, we also implement the strategies and outcomes that the IFSA and the board require through the external department. And that's my sweet 3 minutes. I'll pass the floor to internal counselor.
Yes, so it's me again, Belle, the president. I'm not the current internal counselor. Unfortunately, Wenning cannot join us today. However, for the past 2 years, I was the internal counselor. So I can share with you about the position and what the essence of being the IC is. So as the internal counselor, you are in charge of handling the heads of commissions and subcommissions in the internal department. So that's the Communication Commission and the Capacity Development Commission. So all of the updates, projects, issues that are happening within these commissions or within your department, you will communicate with the board so the board can intervene if needed. Also, you will work hand in hand with the vice president and the executive secretary in completing your tasks in implementing projects or coordinating with the other external or membership departments. Also, as the coordinator of your department, you should be in direct communication with 2 of your head of commissions and all of the subcommissions in the internal department, as well as the board. And you will be the right hand of your 2 head of commissions, again, in project implementations, in task execution in general. So that's it for the internal counselor. And now let's go with Faiha.
Thanks, Val. I'll take the floor now. Sorry, I forgot to add my photo here. Hi, everyone. I'm Faiha. I'm a membership counselor. And being an MC in one sentence is basically a bridge between our diverse global membership and the broader organizational framework of IFSA. Because, there's a lot of opportunities coming from members. So in one way or another, we need to collaborate with other departments as well. Maybe we could go next. Yep. So basically, the task of the MC revolves on coordinating regional action and also overseeing the regional representatives. This also said that we assist regional representatives in carrying out regional projects such as coffee hours, maybe interregional calls, or other initiative projects that they would like to have in their terms to strengthen and empower the members and initiating more engagement to IFSA. So the main tasks of the membership counselor revolves on first reaching out to potential members. This could be done through social media, or for example, if you're attending event, you reach out to people or other students who are in the same field or seem to be interested. And then assisting interested students, for example, like by replying their emails and through introductory meeting. So usually we have some kind of meeting with like a certain LC or a certain country to reintroduce about IFSA and how the membership application would work. And then third, managing the application process of potential members, like from the revision, the comments, and also the feedback session, the acceptance, or even the banishment of members. And then assist RRs in their duties is, for example, if the RRs are having troubles with, solving a case in their region, then we're there to help. And then reporting updates to the department. This is done through like monthly department meetings. So this includes preparation of the meeting, creating the minutes, the slidos, and also other information that you would like to pass every single month to the RR so that they could deliver it to the members. And also analyzing members' development. This could be done in this could be in a way from members' growth in number or other qualities. And let's take a look at the next slide. We also have side tasks. So, for example, it would be also important to join the activities organized by the RRs from different regions, or even the interregional calls, for example, and also be there, be present for the members in these kind of events. And then updating existing documents when needed. For example, like if you have membership guidelines or other documents that you would like to send to the members, then this is where you will arrange it. And then also you can create your own innovation or even fantasy to improve the department status. So this could be your innovative projects or even the improvement of previous projects, and also assist the board tasks. Now these are the skills required, but main thing that we need is basically the communication and also interpersonal skills, because you're going to be reaching out to like a lot of members and also like a lot of people. So this would be from the MC side. And we can go to the next one. I'll give the floor to Alex. Sorry, the PC, that would be Belle.
This is to Belle.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Faiha, for that. Now let's go ahead with the tasks and responsibilities of the Partners Commission head. So we all know that the external department handles the Partners Commission. So let's discuss that first. So as the head, you will be staying in touch with the head of subcommissions in the Partners Commission, which are responsible for maintaining communication and also strengthening the relationships with our partner organizations. So as of now, Partners Commission includes the Pro Silva Subcommission, C4 ECRAF, GLF Youth and Landscapes, European Forest Institute, ITTO, FAO, IUFRO, IUCN, RECOF-TC, and TFD. Of course, you will be supporting them in their tasks and of course in communicating with the partner contact points. And again, if there are any issues or any projects or ideas that come up within your commission, you will be communicating these information with your external counselor, and of course the external counselor will be discussing that with the board. So that's it for PAC. Now for IPC, Damia, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I will be subbing in for the IPC department. Like I had said, external department has 2 commissions, but currently the roles are vacant, so Belle and I are subbing for them. The slide for this is relatively easy. Hopefully it's better to absorb after giving you so much information about the roles. The role of IPC head is pretty similar to the role of the partners head. The main job is for smooth communication and information flow and urgent problem solving. That's the 2 skills required. So the head of IPC subcommission is the contact person for IPC. That includes the subcommissions of Forest Europe, UNCCD, UNCBD, UNEP, UNFCCC, UNFF, WFF, and UNECE. They would be coordinating with the head of subcommissions of these subcommissions and communicating between board, LCs, officials, and the external counselor. Of course, and directly supporting any task that the head of subcommission or EC is having trouble in delegating properly or doing properly. So it's a superhero sort of role to sub in and then get the tasks done on time.
Yes, and also I would just like to add that being the head of IPC, you are basically responsible for making sure that IFSA is able to keep up with our advocacies. We do our statements aligned with our mission and values, and that we participate with our full capacities in international policy processes like the conferences mentioned here. So yeah, that's it from my side.
And then we pass the floor to the 2 commissions of internal department. And the first one is Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex. I'm the head of the Communications Commission. You can move on to my quote. So basically, I would say the main, my sentence would be facilitating the flow of information within and between members, officials, partners for effective promotion of events, opportunities, and reports, especially between officials and members. Yeah. So about this position, so you oversee the design, web, social media, podcast, Discord, and publication subcommissions. This very much involves staying in direct contact with everybody, keep checking in, having regular meetings, and making sure everybody has what they need to be successful. Communication is key to, well, the communication commission. Also, probably the biggest part is the steering of the news factory process, and facilitating this flow of information from design through to web, through to social media and the newsletter from the officials through the news factory process. So you need to make sure where all these moving parts are, making sure you know where each request is in the process, keeping to deadlines, communicating with your team about deadlines, and wearing many hats of stepping in and helping out in design, web, social media where necessary, when your team can't accomplish these tasks on their own. Also, you are the point of contact for a lot of information and advice about ComCon's procedures and strategies. This isn't just with the news factory flow. This also is you have a good overview of comms. So this position really positions you well to help out with delegations and task forces throughout IFSA. Also, we have continual process improvement of the ComCom's guidelines and strategies with the evolution of IFSA and its membership. Technology never stops. And, aiding officials through proofreading, copy editing, and copywriting. What this means is, paying attention to detail with all the requests that come through. Not only social media captions, but web text, design. You're the eyes for your whole department. It's making sure all the details are correct is a pretty big task as well. So in summary, you really are the gatekeeper of most of the flow of information between officials and its membership. It's just really, really rewarding. Thank you.
Okay, we pass the floor to Rafa.
Thank you, Damia. My name is Rafael. I am from Mexico, and I am the current head of Capacity Development Commission. So, trying to summarize the work of the head of CDC in one sentence. Well, I come up with this, which is ensuring quality, consistency, and relevance in our education and training projects. But I must say that you are not alone with this work. It's always a teamwork, and you have a lot of people who can help you with this. But that's mostly what the work of the CDC is about. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, listing a short list of the responsibilities of the head of CDC, I will say that just as the other or all the heads of commission, the role of the head of CDC is to oversee and supervise the work of the different subcommissions in this commission, which are the cultural competencies, forestry education, language, gender, carbon and sustainability, among others. And this includes providing advice on the CDC procedures to ensure the effective implementation of our activities and projects, but it's mostly consisting of reviewing concept notes, providing feedback, comments, suggestions, and with this, achieving the sentence I gave you until past slide, which is ensuring quality, consistency, and relevance in our education and training projects. And finally, I will add one, which is to act as a map or a center of information provide a list or some specific names of potential speakers or institutions where you can find them that might be interested in collaborating with IFSA in IFSA's educational projects and act as panelists in our activities. That's the work of the head of CDC.
Thank you. So that is the end of our first section of the agenda, where we gave a presentation on the different job descriptions, and we heard from all of the officials of board and HOCs. Now, before we go on to the roundtable session, we want to take a quick photo. So as you all know, for it's a tradition, if you want to switch on your camera, please feel free. We're gonna take a screenshot and we'll give us some time to switch on the cameras.
Okay, so open your camera, guys. I will be taking the picture for us. Okay, beautiful faces. Let's give another few seconds. Okay. Perfect. Okay, smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, for the second page. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all lovely people. It was great to see everyone's faces. Feel free to keep the camera on as well. We go to our next agenda item, that's the roundtable discussion. The format of a roundtable discussion is that we have specific questions and the officials, that is board and HOC, go around in a roundtable, giving their perspectives and their answers to the questions. We keep it short, it's 15 minutes in total. And I would encourage you all to please write in your questions in the chat or think about your questions, because after the roundtable discussion, we're going to have a Q&A where it's question answers. So we move to the first question. Faiha and I are going to be moderating this. The first question that we have for our officials here is, what is the biggest skill you have gained as a board or HOC official this term? So the one biggest skill, and I'll pass to Belle.
Okay, I have two biggest skills that I've gained during this term. So it is my first time being part of the external department, because for the past 3 years that I've been in IFSA, I was part of the internal department. So the first biggest skill that I've gained is networking. As innately shy person, I can say that I am no longer afraid of initiating conversations with leaders from international organizations and making sure that our members have opportunities. Also, the biggest skill that I've also gained is in terms of decision making. As I mentioned earlier, as the president, you will lead the board, the direction, and the entire association. So you need to be quick-witted, you need to be a quick thinker, and you need to also be very strategic in terms of the decisions that you make on behalf of the association, and of course decisions that you make with the board. So that's it for me.
Okay, we pass the floor to the next person. So Bora, how about you? And feel free to pass to the next person.
Okay, so am I free to say any name, or just we should follow some order?
Any name, but board
Okay.
and HOC.
Of course, perfect. So I can say that patient, because when you try to explain something to people, you have to have this level of the patient, because you have to explain to people. And also, as Belle said, decision-making mechanism, you are being more objective. And also you learn how to separate your personal and your position. Also, you have to explain this to people when you take a decision, because after all, we all are friends, but you have to explain to person, yes, I take a decision and I'm trying to doing and I'm telling it, but not as a Bora, as a position holder. So it doesn't matter which position. I got this very well. The last thing I can say that I was cheeky already, but I became more cheeky. So because of the patient, I can say that. Yeah, patient, I can say the best one. Then I can give space to Fahia. if you're free.
Okay, thanks, Bora. For me, I think two biggest skills that I gain is firstly regarding problem solving skills and also communication skills. This is because when you're becoming an MC, you will have to coordinate with the RRs and also members from different backgrounds, whether it's their culture, their beliefs, their practices, and everything else, their way of communication. So when you're address these issues, you will have to think how for example, to solve a matter that would adjust and also benefit from their side, and also appropriate from their perspective as well. And regarding communication, yeah, I think because you will also need to regularly keep in check whether it's communicating with the RRs, how the members are doing, keeping the motivation up, and also like empower them to make sure that the spirit is still there, and the opportunities that are given, for example, from the other departments are being delivered well with the members are, and all of us are really feeling the benefit. So I think that would be from my side. I will give the next floor to Alex.
Okay. So yeah, I have two biggest skills I've probably gained that kind of interlinked. First is communication, obviously. You know, especially in delegating, and being quick to delegate is very important. And also not being afraid to be like, we need this done by this done. Can you, and facilitating really good communication within your team is something I've really developed. And the second part is project management. So being able to juggle all these moving parts, emails, spaces, you know, chats. Yeah, it's like, and being able to write all this down and have it in a coherent way in which you're able to deal with things very quickly and very efficiently. Who hasn't gone yet? Raf, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Alex. Well, from my side, I will say that I saw an improvement on my interpersonal and communication skills, definitely. From the interpersonal side, well, I will say for both, but when you're trying to develop a capacity building or capacity development initiative, there is a lot of people involved. Not only the people who is attending, the people who is designing the project, but also you have panelists, you have organizations from that persons, and you have to keep clear information, updated information for everyone, because it's not only the CDC or your subcommission that is involved with the work, it's the entire user community. So you have to be careful what you say, but also be clear. And there is, well, probably the CDC is one of the biggest commissions here in IFSA, and there is a lot of people who have questions, who have projects, who have ideas, and you have to be clear, you have to be, concise, precise with what you say. And so, so people don't miss out points and keep the motivation they have to develop the projects and initiatives. So yes. And for the next person, I think Damia can go next.
Thank you. Okay. The biggest skill I have learned this time as board member would be a lot of also what people have mentioned, but looking at different perspectives. So there's a long-term perspective as a board member, because we stay on as an official only for one term for 12 months. So you have to look at the strategy in a long term, but act in the 1 year and then give an updated, improvised version of your tasks to the next official. So it's looking at these different perspectives of thinking long term, but acting in the short term and improving so that the next person can take the lead on. So the short term, long term perspectives was something that I learned really well. because we have strategies for multiple years, and we take the handover from the previous officials and we take their vision forward, but we often don't know how the situation was back then. So it's a lot of context and regrouping with alumni, talking with a lot of people and looking at different perspectives, and then making your actions for that term. And my second biggest skill would be maintaining good communication, because at the end of the day, we are volunteers. It's limited time that people can give, limited capacities they have, or information they have. So maintaining motivation, team spirit, that is also a big part of counselors, board, and people who often communicate, because we keep the spirits up, we drive the directions of where we want the conversations to go. So developing kind and effective communication, that's been a big learning. And I'll pass to Crispus.
Thank you so much, Damia. One greater thing I've learned in my time of service is event planning. We have been co-planning several events together, including the interim. I also partook in several events as a delegate, and I see how these events are really prepared. And this has really been a very fundamental skill on my side. Besides that, I've also gained comprehensive skills in working remotely. Recently, I took a new role with GLF, and they were really amazed by how fast I was able to cope up with the online work. So this is all thanks to IFSA. Then also, I've also been really able to learn how to manage to work in a place where work is fast-paced and at times tasks are urgent. So I've been able to learn that culture of task prioritization and having things well planned, because without that, it can really become really pretty hard. So just to make all of you know is that what you learn in IFSA will really make you outstand outside as a professional. And many I've learned, but I can't share all right now, but those are the few ones, but I'm already seeing signs. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to move on to the next question. So, what is the biggest challenge you face as board or HOC, and how would you address this? Maybe since Crispus ended on the last question, you can be first, Crispus. You want to answer
Thank you so much for the question. So being in the board, of course, is not just about enjoyment and all that stuff. There are also a lot of challenges which you really face, and you must know this before you come. So besides the board role, I know we are students. We're also doing our work where we also earn a living from. So at times there are peak seasons of IFSA where events are coming, like maybe during interim or near GA. You find that the workload becomes significantly high and becomes very hard to balance your IFSA work and also your professional kind of work. Then also another big challenge which you can really face, which I've really faced in IFSA is also, at times we get really very tough decisions to make, and you really wonder how our things should be done. So so in this, it's just a matter of sharing ideas and meeting people in the board, and you come together with ideas. So I really won't call them also challenges, but still they're really also important in our career development. There's stress at times, but I like stress, so no worries. So I would like to pass it up to my president. Maybe she has a lot to share.
Thanks, Crispus. Okay, this is a very tough question to answer. I have two big challenges that I faced this term. First is that I was able to get my first full-time job coming out of university. So I started out as part-time, but now I'm working full-time. So it's very difficult to handle the role of the president, especially when you are working full-time. So you really need to work on your time management skills so that you don't compromise one priority over the other. The second is that, like Crispa said, there are going to be a lot of difficult decisions that need to be made, because no IFSA term is perfect. There will be a lot of problems that will come your way that you need to talk about and decide on with your fellow board members. So that's why you really need to strengthen your collaboration skills, and your communication skills, so that you'll be able to address these issues quickly and of course strategically, so that the best interest of the association is still prioritized. So that's it for me. Bora, you can go next.
So I think today all of us will be saying the similar things. For me, the biggest specific thing, as Belle mentioned, I also started this term when I was working fully. It was quite hard to find the time and attach to everything and catch to everything and update people and still smile. It was hardest part. And also another part which was really important and hardest for me. After some time, I think a lot of people happening this. After some time, you feel really into IFSA and you start to think about like you're really married with IFSA or something, yes, and you feel responsibility. And after this, you start to think about, okay, what's gonna be happen for next, and you try to talk about and focus the thing, and it's on some point destroy you, and this is stressful. And you talk with person, you talk with friend. Also, sometimes we do talk with each other, but we talked with Belle, for example. We said, you know what? I missed to ask you, how are you as a Bora? And Belle said same thing. I really missed ask, how are you, Bora? How is everything? Because we only bothering each other. Oh, did you see the attached document? Did you see this? I was like, yes, I do. But it's sometimes I like, the balance is breaking things and it's hurting us. But after all, we having the common values, which means of things for IFSA. Yeah, the overall my things was like this. Thank you. Then I can give space to Alex, maybe.
Thank you. I feel like you said we all have similar problems, and that is I find saying no was probably my biggest challenge, in comms and being asked to do things such as you want to be part of every delegation, you want to be part of every task force. You do, like as Boris said, you do feel this like responsibility to help and build IFSA, and you really need to put yourself first sometimes, and your exams, for example. So yeah, and in ComCom, sometimes you get these really quick turnarounds and really complex requests, and you have to say to people, we need to simplify this and put it through the usual process. So can you please take it back and rework it a little bit, just so it reduces the stress on us, especially in times of high stress, because everybody has their exams at the same time. And when most of your team has exams, it's very difficult not to take on everything yourself. And I suppose, I addressed this through just learning how to say no and to letting people down gently, I suppose. Damia, have you been?
No, thank you. The biggest challenge I faced, I was trying to mull over it. I will say it's again a mix of what has already been said. But I'll put it this way: it's a balance of expectation for your own personal self, because when you take on a lot of work, when you take on a lot of stress, and it's additional to your college or your full-time job or like a big travel that you're doing. I shifted continents this term, so big changes. The balance of expectation has to be set for your own personal self, but as board and HOC, as people who are leading organizations and actually delegating tasks and are responsible for the outcomes, you also need to set expectations for your own departments, for your own teams, and protect them from big stress, big challenges. Of course, a delegation can be super big, but the resources are also to be taken into consideration. Of course, someone can create a side event in 2 days. I mean, IFSA does it almost every time. But the balance of expectation provides protection to your own self, also to your team. And that's a big part of being a leader. That's also a big part of feeling proud in your work, that you're able to maintain good relationships and expectations with your team so that everyone is happy, healthy, and want to take on the next term as well. That would be the biggest challenge and learning, but IFSA is a great teacher. And I think we are all workaholics here. That I think is the nature of the people who apply for official roles, that they wish to take on the challenge. And I pass to Faiha.
Okay, thanks, Namia. I think I wanted to highlight the two things that some or many of us already mentioned before regarding time management and also regarding how sometimes it's very hard to make difficult decisions. I think the main challenge here is regarding time management because each and every one of us has like other priorities as well aside from IFSA, like our academics. Maybe we're working, maybe we have internships, maybe we're in a process of creating other projects like personal projects and other stuff. But at the same time, board task already is quite taxing. Like it's taxing in a time in the time point of view and the amount of point of view. So we already have many projects based on like daily projects and tasks, whether it's like daily task, weekly, and also monthly. So it's very important for us to improve our time management in a sense, and also to communicate with other board members or even officials if we are not available in a specific certain of time, because it's going to be very helpful for others to know and identify which time we will be available, and when we're not going to be available, and to prepare some kind of things or other alternatives if, for example, we are not going to be there to assist them. So this is my first point. And then the other one is regarding the difficult decisions. At least from my side, the perspective comes because me and also other RRs here, we're trying to represent the members from our regions, and in this case, if you're an MC, you're going to represent the whole 7 regions. And with this much of a members, it comes with lots of different interests, different backgrounds, and you even maybe like some reach out to them personally and know the situation really well. So when it comes to like decisions, you're also at that side where you wanted to make sure that the needs are being met, and the convenience are being met, but at times it's like contrary to what we're achieving, for example, and this is where the balance will be kind of challenging to be met basically in this position. And last but not least, for me, I think the biggest challenge is to regularly reach out to all. So I think that would be from my side. Is there anyone else who hasn't replied to that yet?
Rafa? But
Yeah,
I saw
okay,
he
I'm
dropped
going
out of
to.
call.
No, I'm here. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, there was energy thing in the city probably, so I got out of the call. But I will say that, well, the biggest challenge I faced as head of CDC was definitely, well, it's related to what Damia said in the past question, and is that TIPSA positions are volunteer positions, and the motivation of people always fluctuates. It's not the same every day, every week. And well, I wouldn't say that I am the type of motivating leader. I will say that my style of leadership is quite different than, well, someone who acts as a cheerleader or that motivates people. Rather a comprehensive one, someone you can trust on and talk about your situation, your problems, and to try to get a solution. So what I did is that I didn't saw a lot of motivation in the commission. Most people wasn't joining the monthly meetings. So what I did was to, well, reach out people personally and, well, say, is everything okay? Is there anything I can help you with? How are you feeling with your position? And this, well, series of questions to try to get an understanding of what is this person facing, what is the current emotional academic situation, and try to come up with solutions for the successful uh, implementation of the projects, the IFSA priorities, and also maybe being quite flexible with deadlines. I mean, well, for example, this project, well, you want to achieve it in this time, but you are not feeling like working this week. So maybe we can make it 1 week longer or deadline or 2 weeks, so you can work at your time, at your pace. And that's, well, what I learned about. I learned so much about my style of leadership, but as well trying to uh, to understand people, to feel what they're feeling, and try to, well, come up with solutions after all. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Now we move on to the next section. After listening to the roundtable discussion, this is the Q&A section. And as we wrote in the chat, feel free to send in your questions to us. All of us here will be answering the questions till next 6 minutes, after which we can go on the next slide. So we answer questions right now, and okay, let me rephrase. Please join the Slido and join the breakout rooms, and feel free to ask questions. We have divided the breakout rooms into 3 sections. So we would like you to join the Slido first. So the slide about the Slido, yeah. Please join the Slido and write in your questions there. We'd be happy to answer it. And join the breakout rooms. Another quick point, which I can say, is that we have 3 rooms. We have divided it into membership, internal and external, depending on the department. So you can flit around in each room, ask questions for different departments. We'll be here answering questions. It's an open-ended session, so if you can maintain a conversation for 5 hours, we're happy to be here for 5 hours. But feel free to move around the breakout rooms, depending on who you want to ask a question to. And the Slido is always there for you to input your questions.
So yeah, just to add, the breakout room option should be at the bottom of your screen or on your phone. And if you click that, we have these 3 breakout rooms for membership, internal and external. So this is where everybody should be going now for the next 20 minutes, half an hour. But as Dami said, we will extend this if we need to.
Yeah. So I'll ask all board and HOC to join your specific rooms. So people, there's not going to be anyone in the main room. If you hear silence, that's because you have to join another room. See you there.